Hi, I'm Liz and welcome back. The Mental Health Foundation has released or stated that 74% of all people feel overwhelmed on a daily basis. Now, that is just terrible. I mean, so many people feeling like everything is just too much or that they just cannot handle what is lying in front of them on a daily basis. And I refuse to believe that that is the life that we were destined for, to constantly feel overwhelmed and overpowered and like everything is too much. I mean, that is a sure recipe for not being able to enjoy life and to get the most out of every day and to live up to our full potential. And from personal experience and working with many clients, I know that you can change that. And one way of doing that is by making the decision to declutter. And I also understand by saying that you can now ask the question, but how am I supposed to declutter if I already feel so overwhelmed? Thank you for joining me today. Like my page on Facebook if you're on Facebook, or follow me on Instagram, or subscribe to my channel on YouTube and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. So the big question is, how do women like us, who are wearing so many different hats each day and who don't cheat by looking like we have everything under control, take back our homes and life, free from the chains of clutter? How do we simplify, get started, get unstuck, let things go and create more time so that we can truly focus on what is essential for a happy and healthy life with our loved ones? That is the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is Liz Tenton, and welcome to the Vanilla Essence Show. So how do we declutter when we feel overwhelmed? I mean, standing in front of a room or a house that is just filled with clutter from the one wall to the other wall, covering the furniture, is enough reason to make anybody feel overwhelmed. But actually the solution and the answer to that question is quite simple. The secret lies in taking our eyes off of the big picture and focusing on one thing right in front of us. I usually say to my clients, don't start with that big room or that space that is making you feel so overwhelmed. Start with something smaller, a space that is not so cluttered or doesn't make you feel so overwhelmed. Say, for example, the desk in your study or in your home office. Start with that. And then what you do is you break that space up into smaller, manageable pieces. The desk you can divide up into the desk surface, drawer 1, drawer 2, drawer 3. And then you tackle one section at a time. And you don't move on to the next section before you have finished the one that you are busy with. By starting with something smaller and something that is not so cluttered and finishing it, you will build all that confidence and momentum that you will need to be able to finish the job and eventually tackle those rooms that are so cluttered and that has or is still making you feel so overwhelmed. Now, say for example, you have chosen the desk in your study and you start with drawer number 1. What do you do next? Well, you forget about everything else around you. You take the drawer out of the desk, you put it on a flat surface from where you can sort it. Make sure to have 3 bags or boxes ready to use when you declutter. Box number 1 you can mark as throw out, and box number 2 you can mark as keep, and box number 3 you can mark as sell or donate. And then you go through one item at a time. You pick up that item and you make a decision. Does it go in the to keep box, the throw out box, or the sell or the donate box? And so you work through each item in that drawer until you are done. Then you pack the stuff back that you've decided to keep. You put that drawer back into the desk and you move over or on to the next drawer. Now, another very, very, very important thing is when you are done working through that whole desk, you will sit with 3 bags or 3 boxes with stuff in that need to be actioned, and to complete the clutter process and to make sure that you don't just get to a space where you feel utterly overwhelmed again. You have to action the clutter in those boxes or bags. So the stuff that you've decided to let go or to throw out, they must leave the house immediately and go straight to the bin. The stuff that you've decided to donate must go into the back or on the back seat of your car so that you can drop it off wherever you want to donate it to as soon as possible. And the stuff that you want to sell, maybe on an online platform, schedule some time in your diary immediately when you are going to do that, and place that stuff close to your desk, next to your desk, close to your laptop, so that you don't forget to do that, and do that as soon as possible. It is so important to get that stuff out of our house, otherwise it just becomes part of the clutter again, and it just is another cause for feeling overwhelmed. Now, by standing back and having finished that desk, you would have now built the confidence or came to the conclusion that what has seemed so impossible is actually possible, and actually is also not so complicated. It just takes a decision, a quality decision that you want to declutter and that you are going to declutter. Then schedule some time in your planner when you are going to do it, so that you don't get interrupted, so that you don't get sidetracked and just run off doing something else, because it's going to be so much nicer and it's not you being pushed out of your comfort zone, because none of us like being pushed out of our comfort zones. But unfortunately, growth and change happens outside of our comfort zone. And I know that you can do this. I've seen so many people make this change to their lives, and the results are life-changing. So if you feel overwhelmed, or if you're asking the question, how do I declutter if I feel overwhelmed? I'm telling you, and my advice is, take your eyes off of the big picture and focus on one thing, a smaller area that is not so cluttered, and finish that area first. That will build the motivation and the momentum that you need to move on to the next small section. And then step by step, you will move through your house and you will tackle that enormous clutter monster that has been staring at you for so long. It is possible. Now, I would really like to know what you think, and if you are one of those people that feel overwhelmed staring at the clutter in your home. So if you do feel overwhelmed, and if you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up. Remember to join me tomorrow, where I will share on 5 things that is preventing you to declutter.